Hi, it's Grace. I'm back with another video. I'm still feeling pretty under the weather. Today is like the first day I got up and did anything. I've actually been like in and out of the doctor's office for like the past week, and I was in the ER on Friday or Saturday. I can't really remember, but it was like 2 or 3 days ago I was there. So long story short, I've been like super sick. And obviously like some things have been going on with my channel and like, videos I've made and stuff. But I think it'll help me feel better to watch some dance because that's what I'm passionate about and that's what I really love. So I'm here today to talk about Taemin. I've heard he's a senior in the K-pop community, and if I'm not mistaken, is he from, I think he's from SHINee. Someone please tell me if that's wrong. But today I'm going to be reacting to Move and Want by Taemin, and I think that's how I'm supposed to pronounce his name. And I've heard that he's a more contemporary, modern style dancer as opposed to like a what we normally see from K-pop dancers. So I'm super excited to see what he brings. I also heard his movement's pretty like sensual. So I'm really excited. I'm going to start off with Move. Go. I already think it's interesting that he has female backup dancers. Oof, I've seen this. What I love so much about that movement is the subtlety of it. And like I said before, it's sensual and it's slow. And I think a lot of K-pop dances tend to be faster, and that's just the style right now. So people are going to follow the trend. But I think movement doesn't have to be fast to be effective. That slow, sort of emotional movement that Taemin is bringing, I really like that. Ooh, and that right there, that's actually a pretty classic jazz line. I'm not a really huge jazz person, but I do have a bit of training in jazz. It's very similar to a Bob Fosse line. Bob Fosse is a very, very famous choreographer, and he's done a lot of movies and Broadway shows too. Oof. The amount of flow he has in his body, he's beautiful. And he definitely is blending the line of gender roles in dance. Aside from traditional dance, there aren't really like, in traditional dances, there are kind of set roles for genders. So like ballroom dancing, there's a male and a female part. But I think for more contemporary dances, and more contemporary dance styles, that's not necessarily the case. There aren't really set roles for male and female. So I think that plays into that sort of blurring of the gender roles, this dance really well, and that might just be that he has female dancers doing the same exact thing that he's doing, but he's also not doing hyper masculine moves and they're not doing hyper feminine moves. It's a very like gender neutral kind of androgynous dance. It's really cool, and it really lends itself well to the way he sings. He's got a very unique voice, and this is a unique song. I'm really digging this so far. He's definitely accentuating parts of his body that females normally would when they dance. And I think it's really cool to see a guy do that. And the amount of groove they have here, that's something my jazz teacher always says. Groove. It's a feeling you have in your body, a natural feeling you have to dance. It's not necessarily the most difficult dance, but it's one of the most effective dances I've seen. It's beautiful. He's got that essence and that aura of like a kind of like a greaser, like a 50s greaser, like leather jackets. I kind of think like West Side Story, like Sharks versus Jets, like that very like classic cool guy. He's got that aura and that essence about him, and that what's the word for it? Like his it's kind of like his persona, but it's like pedestrian and that cool guy you see on the corner of the street, but he's not being like that hyper masculine, which is super cool. Oh, he and I are matching. All right, so I'm definitely super impressed with that. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily the most difficult dance, but it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous dance, and I think it really lends itself well to the song, and I think it's very unique in the way they use. It wasn't necessarily like a jazz dance, but there were some influences from Bob Fosse, like I said, and just kind of that like cool guy pedestrian that you sometimes see in classic jazz movies like Guys and Dolls and West Side Story. You could see those influences, but the blurring of that line between, you know, what we consider feminine and what we consider masculine, that's super cool. I really liked that. So now I'm going to move on to Want by Taemin. And I don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be the same thing or something completely different, but let's get straight into it. Sounds like it's going to be different. Again, he's got that kind of pose he starts off with. He's dancing like he's in an improv class. He's dancing like he's a modern dancer. Like I'd see this on Modern Dance Instagram. You can see he has a passion for dancing. the way he moves is so impressive. And I was trying to explain before, he has that essence of groove. Groove, like what I interpret groove as, it's like whenever I did like funk inspired jazz dances, my dance teacher would always say, feel the groove in your body. It's like groove is that natural push to dance, and that natural push and that natural desire to kind of feel the music in your body. And it's that like primal instinct to dance, and I can really see that in him. Taemin has a lot of groove, and just the way he moves so fluidly, his flow, and just his presence, even in just a dance studio. He's not even on stage, but he's performing, and it's like he's performing for himself, which shows how much he loves what he's doing. It looks like another Bob Fosse influence. Bob Fosse was a dancer who, he started off in ballet class, but classic ballet has a very kind of ideal body type, and he was not it. He had hunched shoulders, his rotation wasn't very strong. So when he moved to jazz dance and became a pioneer of jazz dance, he used his weaknesses, or what he was told were his weaknesses, as his strengths. So there's a lot of kind of hunched shoulders in Fosse style jazz, and I see that a lot in Taemin. I don't know if he's necessarily trying to do that, or if that's just the way his body is built, but either way, it's a gorgeous line on him. It's a really great line. I don't really know if I should explain line, like what dancers say, like, oh, that's a great line, like it's the line your body is making, and like the hunched shoulders on Taemin's body, it's a beautiful line. This Want is definitely more, this is Want, right? Yes. Want is definitely more, a little, I'd say more difficult, just like generally more difficult than Move. So I don't know what this song is about. I can't translate anything he's singing about. But this one plays more into classic gender roles of boy and girl. I can just see him performing this on stage. Hot, hot. Yeah, this dance is definitely a little more technically advanced. And the nuances. Ooh. Wow. All right, so I just finished watching 2 videos from Taemin, and I must say, thank you guys for those recommendations, because I'm blown away. Like, he's beautiful, he's unique, and I can see his passion for dance in the way he moves, and the way that when he practices, he's not practicing to practice, he's practicing because he loves doing it. And just so unique, and it's very refreshing to see someone like him, you know, someone who, I don't know if he grew up in the dance world, but I don't want to generalize, but society, men in society, they're typically told to be hyper masculine, and it's a very toxic thing to push into young boys' heads that they have to be super super masculine, and it's very refreshing to see a grown man kind of blur the lines for himself and let himself walk into that, what's considered traditionally feminine, and kind of walk that line of androgyny. It's really cool to see that, especially someone who has such a big platform. And that's really cool, and he's just really really talented. And yeah, thank you so much for recommending Taemin to me. I really really enjoyed it. So I hope to make another video soon. Depends on if I'm feeling up to it or not. I hope I am feeling better health-wise soon. And please keep the recommendations coming. I don't want to call them requests because, like, who am I for people to be requesting things of? But recommendations of things you guys think I would enjoy. You guys have hit the mark so far, and I've really loved what you guys have pushed towards me. So thank you so much. Also, whoever keeps asking me, like, who I've kissed or who I swapped spits with to get mono, please stop. That's a very weird question. And the answer is no one. Just like, I got mono. Leave me alone. Bye.